welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy Tadiucci. How are you doing today?
Hey, I am doing so well. Oh my gosh. This whole week has been magical and amazing and all the things. I know, right? Don't you hate it when you come across someone like me? Hi! This is what it is. And I just looked out this morning and the geese are back and they made little geese footprints in the snow and it's so cute. And there's two of them that are checking out the nest. Like the nest that's been underneath our living room window for like 2 years now or something like this. So I'm like, babies!
Maybe spring is coming.
So I know spring is coming, so I'm excited for that. Peaceful Pages Collective is just doing so well. That is the space for, the women that are, that I serve, that are overwhelmed, frustrated, and just are like, I know something needs to change, but I don't know what or how to do that. This is their sanctuary. To step in virtually and just their shoulders drop. They're able to take a breath. And nothing's expected of them.
Yeah.
Right? So just having fun with that and just looking at and being so honored to serve these women and just hold space for them. So that's what's happening with me. And I got to show you guys this. If you know, you know. Put in the comments if you know. That's me. How about
Sprite?
Sea Sprite?
I am doing well. Went down to Pennsylvania last week.
Yes, you did.
A couple days to
Got back before the blizzard.
Got back before the blizzard. Yes. Yes. For the whole 3 days of travel, my father was texting me like a maniac. Honey, be careful. There's going to be weather on Friday.
There's going to be weather on Friday. There usually is.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes. I was like, I know you're just being a dad, but good God. And, it was great. Got to see Jen and Miss Amy and a bunch of other Polka Dot Powerhouse ladies because the summit or the women's conference that Jen was speaking at ended up being kind of like a mini dot social because I ran into Heather Elmendinger and Dawn Ragnar and several other people. And then
Hey Mojo.
Yeah, and then I had then we had lunch with a few other dots and it was great. And we made it home as we got into Massachusetts. There was a bit of sleet, so it was slow crawling that last bit, but easy peasy. I was actually laughing hysterically because it was literally rain the whole way until we got there, and then as I got off the ramp, we could literally hear the sleet coming down on the car much louder, so I'm like crawling up the ramp because it's like a weird curve one, and then as I'm going into Worcester, it's getting a little snowier and a little snowier, but literally like half a mile down the road was like maybe this much snow. By the time I got to my house, there was like 2 inches. Like, because Joe even had said like, oh, I'll go out and shovel. I'm like, really? You need to shovel? It's that much,
It's a blizzard. What do you expect?
No, this wasn't the blizzard. This was before the blizzard. This was the Friday. This was the Friday storm, and so it was just a little bit, like literally over my house. I swear to God, I was joking with Joe about that. I'm like, it's just snowing in our neighborhood, and that's about it. And and then a few days later was when we got the blizzard. So Gabriel got vacation extended, so that was good for him. And he was happy to go to Pennsylvania and be at a hotel with a pool. So he was living the life, and life was good. And this week's just getting back into it and getting ready for some upcoming events. Jen and Amy and I are doing the storytelling happy hour tonight, so that's going to be a blast.
Tonight. I knew there was something tonight.
Yep. And then we're going to do a open house, all access open house to SheEO for the month of March because that is Women's History Month. So trying to give a little access to the ladies to check it out and see how it can support your business and your life. So that's what we're up to.
Oh my God. So I got to tell you two things. So first of all, yeah, I was one of those crazy people texting you, I think Saturday morning. Are you home?
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Yeah, I'm at work already.
Of course you were. Oh my God. Who's getting a facial in a blizzard? And I was on the Diamond business call earlier this week. And Ann Zuckerman, was she
Zuckerman.
she
was
let me tell you, she was fangirling.
Aww.
She was fangirling. She said, I got to meet Stephanie Keenan Ray and I got to meet Jen B. Like, you guys are like the pinnacle. You guys are like the untouchables. You guys are like, you know, like, seriously, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Because you totally are. I loved it. I loved it. Like, yes, Steph is like a superstar. So go here.
That's exciting. Yeah, that's so funny. I'm having a moment there where, like, yesterday I was in a mastermind where I shared something, and somebody was like, "And how does that feel to receive that?" And I was like, rephrase that. My brain doesn't understand what you're saying. But at the time, like, as they were talking about it, I was like, yep. You know, like, I was all closed off and just kind of like holding myself. So I'm like, okay, well, receive what you just said and accept it.
It gets easier the more you receive.
Right? Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah. So, should we do oracle cards?
Yes, we should.
Okie dokie. So, I pulled for myself the More from the...
Oh, that's beautiful. Is that lavender?
Yeah, it's probably lavender or heather.
Love lavender. I got to go to Lakeside Lavender tomorrow and get some more, lavender to put in my coffee. I know it's weird, but it's delicious.
It's really good.
And
it's very popular.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
It's very popular, like lavender lattes and stuff.
Oh, it's not just me. Oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I gotta go. Yeah. Say hi to Doreen tomorrow.
Nice. So the More is silence and simplicity. Moorland is characterized by its lack of trees and its low-growing, uncultivated vegetation. Usually, moors occupy high ground, and they offer us an evocative expanse, a sweeping vista, and a sense of remoteness. The combination of elevation and openness means that they're often very windy places. The cluttered simplicity of the moors makes it a landscape of which we might come to achieve clarity. We can breathe deeply and more easily here, and in the clear air and the land which sweeps all the way to the far wide horizon. The cleansing wind clears away mental clutter, breaks down the rigidity of customary thought patterns, frees us from the structures of civilization which both defines and confines us. Space is created for new insights and understandings. Our imagination is unshackled, released into timeless, flexible, and magical sphere. The solitude of the moors can sometimes make us feel uncomfortable, but this card invites us to embrace the silence. Here we can learn the art of deep listening and deep sensing. What does the wind have to whisper to you? What patterns can you see in the looming storm clouds? And when the jumbled Demetrius of everyday life is blown away, what remains? And how does that make you feel? And I think that's very cool because honestly, first off, places like this make me so happy. And just the other day on TikTok, I think I came upon an Irishman who just looks at beautiful estates and houses all over Great Britain. And and like some of them are just magnificently beautiful. And so I was like looking at that. And then I was also just looking at pictures of Ireland, because I don't know, I'm feeling a calling lately. So, so this card speaks to me greatly, because that, and in all honesty, yes, the sweeping, the clearing, the slowing down and silence, that all those things are important, and things that I could use a little more of in my world, because as I sit at an incredibly cluttered desk.
Oh, so that card hits. That
it hits. It hits.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right, so I will share. So I think Ebony, you said this looked like a mermaid.
Yes.
This is this is a different one. So this is the cover that I showed you. She does kind of look like a mermaid. Mm-hmm. This is the card that I drew, though. It says, the spirit of aloha, live with unity, giving, and receiving love. I feel like she's going to lose her sarong, though, because, I mean, it's like, that would drive me absolutely nuts. I'd have to hike that thing up anyway. So it says, aloha is a fluid connection between the material world and the spiritual world. The Hawaiians believe this energy is a part of you. When someone is in pain, it becomes your pain. When someone experiences joy, it becomes your joy. You respect all elements of the good, which is in everything, and everything becomes an aspect of you. You take only as needed from nature and others. Nature, the ocean, and the air are part of your charge to value and guard. These are the measures required to reside in aloha. Aloha is the breath of life, or the existence of your breath in your body. Aloha is an approach to living and treating yourself and those around you with love and reverence. It starts with learning how to love yourself and then spreading that love to those close to you, friends and strangers alike. A maiden is surrounded in emerald green vegetation and faces forward with her arms and heart open to give and receive aloha. The image of the woman surrounded by the rich greenery exemplifies the feeling of total immersion with the essence of Hawaii. Her face is serene, as if she has a complete understanding of who she is and what she represents. Emerald green emanates from the foliage to emphasize the healing that experiencing aloha will bring. What are you feeling at this moment? Are you caught up in the energy around you? Do you find yourself at ease with your life? In creating outcomes that contrast with your current outlook, contemplate how you would like to feel. Reflect on this approach to life. You can live anywhere in the world and radiate the energy of aloha. Oh my. So this is interesting because Theta, Theta from previous, she checks my energy every morning. I check her energy every morning. And so we just do that by text, right? Mm-hmm. And she sent me a little airplane. And she said, "You're ready for takeoff. You're right, clear." And I responded back and I said, "Actual footage of a airplane taking me to Hawaii." She's like, "When are you going?" I'm like, "I'm manifesting it. Manifesting another trip." This card, though, tells me I don't need to go to Hawaii. God, I'd love to, though. I can have it right here. And so that's what I'm going to focus on.
If you can make it feel like Hawaii and Indiana in the winter,
more power to me.
You are a powerful, powerful being.
And then you got to bottle it up and sell it.
Right?
I am a powerful, powerful being. Yes. And I don't say that to be sarcastic or anything. Someone asked me earlier this week, like, how's your week been? How's your day been? And I was like, it was sparkly and magical. And they were like, are you being sarcastic or for real? I'm like, I am for real. They didn't know what to do with me in any event. Okay. And so we've got to get to our guest, Ebony, and her card and stuff. Yeah, you've got her card? Okay, yeah. Ebony.
I thought you were gonna... okay, so here we go. We got the Labyrinth is your card.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Ebony's like, uh-oh.
I'm interested. Like,
right? Yeah. So during the Middle Ages, the practice of walking a labyrinth at the great Christian sites like Carters in France, became entangled with the pilgrimage tradition. Labyrinths centered in the stone floors of cathedrals were often the final landmark of a pilgrim's path, and so became the symbol of a spiritual journey which they had undertaken, assisting with the process of integration. Labyrinth card reminds us that life is not a linear journey, but its single path leads ultimately to the center, the path with heart. The good news is that the labyrinths aren't mazes. They're designed to help you find your way to the center. They're designed precisely to the center, because walking the labyrinth lifts us out of the everyday world for a while and fosters contemplation. And there, at the center of the labyrinth, you'll discover new insights, uncover old wisdom, and gain new knowledge. You'll begin to understand why it was that you decided to walk this path, and then it will be time to make your way out of the labyrinth, taking into the world the gifts that you received in the center. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It is interesting. It's like, yeah, just kind of, I think that like contemplating where you are in your path and how you can take that back with you. That's very cool. That was an interesting card.
What's even more interesting is when you read it. So one, I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic, actually. So cathedral, right, is like our place of worship, and for us the most holiest ground for services. Yeah. But also I have been sharing with everybody I've kind of been talking to is, this year of the fire horse. And I was actually talking to Jen B about it, and I was like, Jen, I feel like I was the fire horse last year. Yeah. And then I feel like it's a much slower pace for me this year. Like I'm really needing to lean into intentionality and slow. And for somebody who's used to 100 miles a minute, like Wendy, when I hopped on and you were like, holy cow, you do so much, right? Yeah. It is so weird for me to be in this not doing so much when I'm seeing clients and all these people really just expending this momentum. And I feel like I'm setting back. But I've been kind of figuring out like, what is my message this year? And so that's just so crazy, because I just did like a 90-day roadmap plan and kind of just like what's been on my heart, how I want to pivot in life and business, and what means more to me this year. So that's like so crazy, because that's really what I've actually been focusing on this year. And again, it's been so hard because I am such a mover that is slow and kind of finding my way back. And the fact that you said that it's not a linear line is, again, I thought it was going to be like, okay, super momentumous year last year, right? And that's going to keep going, or we're going to stay like this. And it was more like, boom, boom. And then we're figuring out, right? Like what's the next pivot? So I can see why it was cool for me.
So it totally resonates. That's great. I love that.
I mean, God always guides us. God, spirit, universe, however you want to call the divine, always shows up and shows us what we're supposed to see and what they desire us to see. So that's amazing. And Ebony, it's so interesting you say that this year you're like kind of sitting back, because that's my energy too this year. I am just ease and flow, baby, all day long. I am not in my, and it feels really good just to be chill. Yeah. With everybody else around going bananas.
Right. Well, and then I thought something was wrong with me, because I was like, okay, everybody is talking about this fire, right? Yeah. And I'm kind of like more of this like slow burn. And I feel like the more I've been talking to people, so like you, like both of you, right? Like Stephanie, your card, I was like, oh, that meant to be for me, with like that slower pace kind of thing. But I think that's just us knowing that right now, like I think the momentum will come. I think it's going to come for me in the back half of the year. So like July through December. But right now it's in that intentional, that growth, that steadfast season. And learning to embrace that. It is hard though, I'll tell you. I am not somebody that sits back and has quiet days. So it has for sure been interesting, but I've also been kind of learning, like, why have I escaped that quiet in the past, right? Like, why does being at stillness make me uncomfortable? So,
yeah.
Ooh, deep dive, girl. Okay.
Hey, quick question. When was the last time road traffic made you a better human? What if your time behind the wheel could actually make you calmer, kinder, and even happier?
Ooh, great question. So, Connie Warden's book, Speeding to Compassion, Life Lessons and Humor to the High Road, turns road rage into road wisdom. She shares funny stories, relatable moments, and simple ways to stay calm, even when someone cuts you off for the third time before coffee. Because the real journey isn't your commute, it is your state of mind.
Find your calmer lane and grab a copy wherever books are sold. Also, you might want to check the show notes because Connie is offering a $5 coupon off of her book, as well as 2 free 30-minute online yoga classes. Just go to conniewarden.com to find the information.
Ooh, what a way to calm down. Do a little yoga and then get in your car.
Right?
I love
Absolutely.
So it is, I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. So Ebony Nicole is a proud mom of 2 and a passionate advocate for intergenerational care. Her family runs Gentog. Did I pronounce that right, Ebony?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. A unique senior and child care business designed to bring generations together under one roof in Tigard, Oregon. Was that right? Tigard. Thank you. Gentog was born from her mom's love for senior care. This became a reality when her great-grandmother, living with dementia, joined their household at the same time her oldest nephew was born. 4 generations shared one home. Witnessing how her mom, as the primary caregiver, relied on the whole family inspired our whole family's dedication to the mission of helping others navigate care for their loved ones while fostering meaningful connections between generations. Beyond Gentog, Ebony is a full-time corporate recruiter and a business and brand strategist, blending her professional expertise with her passion for family and community. She also runs a successful nonprofit supporting foster children, further reflecting her commitment to care, growth, and opportunity. Ebony loves helping families discover creative ways to incorporate intergenerational care into daily life, ensuring every generation thrives together. So welcome to the Smiling Souls podcast, Ebony.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored. That just made my soul smile. Yes, I'm so happy to be here. So thank you too for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I met you not even a year ago. It feels like it, but it was only, oh God, 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months ago.
Yeah. And you are just a dynamic human. And I just love so much about you. Like, just getting to know you and getting to orbit around you has been so fun, and inspiring too, because as we said, as the introduction shows, she does a lot, as she said a minute ago, but she does so much with heart. Like, it's not just like busy just to make money, right? It's, you know, you've got a nonprofit, you train runners, you do all these cool things. So tell us about your, like, just your journey, like what got you to here?
Yeah. So I think a big part of it is, you know, my mom was the example. You know, she worked, and then when I really saw what it meant to lead a heart purpose mission was when she left corporate America. 28 years she had been at her company. She was a senior vice president. She had 2 kids. I was getting ready to go to college. So you can imagine when she came to us and said, hey, I'm going to walk away from my job, our steady income, our lifestyle, and I'm going to open a business with my best friends. I was too young at the time to really appreciate the example that would set in the trajectory of my life after. And my mom's going to cry when she sees this, but that moment was so pivotal in my life to show me. And she said, like, when God places a purpose on your heart and you follow it, like, we'll be taken care of. I'm thinking like, okay, now I can't go to all these colleges I was thinking of, right? Our life's going to change in an instant. I was, 16 and, but just seeing her obedience in that season, because it wasn't easy. So she left, and when she started building the business, she had a contractor who stole like $100,000 from her. So here she was investing everything, right? And for so many, that would have been like, maybe this is my sign to stop. She found a way to keep going. Wow. First year when they opened, about a year later, she only had 2 people. My great grandma was one of them, great grandma Helen, and then they had 1 little girl. So, it went from that, and it was that, of course, wasn't paying the overhead, the bills, but she stayed so faithful in that time because she goes like, I know this is our purpose, and this is the legacy I want to leave my family. And I look back now, and I wish I would have appreciated more when I was younger to just, be there, because there's so many stories, there's so many lessons to learn from both generations. And she's been in business now, we've been 17 years, which is, I remember when she hit the 1-year mark and then the 5-year and the 10, but really seeing her step into her God-given purpose and lead with heart has kind of just been the trajectory for me. And I remember when my husband and I met, he never understood what it meant to leave a job if I wasn't happy, or if it wasn't what was, like, if I had served my purpose and mission at a company, I would leave. And he didn't. He was like, what do you mean? He's like, if your mental health's not good, you bounce. And I was like, that's it. Or if God tells me that I'm done, like, I've served at the capacity that I can, and now my gifts need to be elsewhere, I follow and I listen. And then about 5 years ago, that led to entrepreneurship. I never wanted to own a business. I never thought I would. COVID hit, and that was the foundation for my first business. I was a personal trainer for over a decade. So again, love serving, love helping people find their own transformation. I had a weight loss story of my own, and it changed my life. And I wanted to help other people come to the other side of that journey as well. But COVID hit, the gym shut down. So I had overnight lost my income. And I had clients that just said like, hey, you run. I was a pro runner for 2 years. They were like, have you thought about coaching? And I was like, that's my hobby. That's my piece. I wasn't sure if I had wanted it to be my job. And I said, you know what, bring me 20 people and I will do it. They brought me 30. So I said, okay, guess we're doing it. Later to find out, I was also pregnant with my first kid at the time. And so here I was trying to start a business with nothing but a purpose and just a drive to help people improve their mental health during a very hard time. When people wanted connection, we were on Zoom, working out together, stretching, talking, and just kind of keeping the community of what our gym was in person as online as well. So that was really what launched my first business. And then I think from there, as my purpose and heart desires and missions change, it's, it all kind of weaves together. But really everything weaves together, because that business propelled my nonprofit, which is Running Foster. So running and foster care. Yeah. And my clients were the first to be the ones that donated. And how we actually started funding the nonprofit was we would run miles, and we would donate $1 per mile ran. So when I first started my first year, I ran 1,300 miles, and I donated that out of my own pocket to helping foster kids. And then once it got bigger than that, I was like, I'm going to need some help. And so my clients were like, yeah, we would like, this is like so great. So we would do like shout outs and just like ran 10 miles donated to, to help this foster kid, or to like, it's going to this. And I would let them know like, hey, it's going to a college scholarship, or it's going to a kid getting their driver's license, or, you paid for and sponsored, a kid on the cross country team. So, so it like I said, the heart was always there, and it led to that. And then that's grown exponentially. And the new season I'm in is, I'm learning and kind of navigating what the new heart purpose is for this year.
That's so cool.
Wow. I'm taking everything in that you just shared, Ebony. Wow. So when I read your bio, I had a vision of you standing power pose, right, hands on hips, with a cape and a halo.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You're welcome. And I had a question. What the heck was it? Oh, so you talk about, your mom starting this business, like leaving corporate, starting this business, and a huge obstacle right out the get-go.
Yeah.
$1,000 stolen. And she decided to keep going.
Yes.
That, I think it happens a lot, not that specific scenario, but it's kind of like God going, okay, are you sure you want this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. Then let's go. Right. And I say that because that's happened to me many, many times. Not that specific scenario, but just like obstacles in the way. Do I really want this? Yes, I do. And then God's like, okay, well then let's go. Mm-hmm. And it just, when you trust, when you just allow and you release, it's amazing what happens.
Right.
So there's that. Here's my question. You talk about the stories and your grandmother and your mother starting this business. Can you share some of your favorite stories about your grandmother and your mom? Like your mom took your grandmother to work. Is that right?
Yes. So my grandma lived a very great life. She was independent, right? Yeah. Like she was the definition of a boss woman. Her husband had passed, and she remained independent and single up until she was in her late 80s. Yeah. We would go to lunch with my grandma, my great grandma, every single Saturday. So my mom and I would drive. We'd go get lunch with her. Mm-hmm. And one day we were calling her, and she wasn't answering, which was uncommon, to let her know that we were on our way. So she had fallen and shattered her clavicle, and nobody was there. So she just said like, oh, I slipped, right? The very common kind of early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's is, oh, I slipped. It wasn't anything. And we were like, okay, Graham, like you have this big house to yourself. You're now immobile. You can't really drive. Mm-hmm. And it was very evident about a year late, like within about 9 months, that she needed care. Sure. And my grandparents, I was fortunate enough to know my great grandma until I was 19. So she was around. She was there, and she passed right before I turned 20. So she got to see her first great grandson. Right, she got to meet him. His name's Braylon. He's my oldest nephew. And so my mom decided it was either she was going to have to move into my grandma's house, but now at the same stage, also welcoming a grandson. Right. And my brother and his wife and I lived with our parents at the time still, because they still needed help, right? Like my mom was opening this business. That was all her energy was. Right. So we wanted to help kind of, keep things at home and stable for her. So she was like, well, we could also move grandma in. And I remember sitting down and having like a family discussion, because she was like, it's going to be all hands on deck, right? Mm-hmm. We don't quite know what to expect, and usually it doesn't get better, right? Normally it's you're kind of, it's good for a while, but then there's going to come a turning point. Yeah. So I think that, and just seeing, my sister-in-law be on board, right? All of us kind of band to be together. But I think really the favorite memory is like her holding my nephew. Like there was just a moment in time, even as she was slowly losing memory, that like I could still see the grandma that I grew up with, and just she was so tender and so sweet and soft with him. And, you know, like you could just see the love. And I remember like that always radiating whenever she held him. And then I also remember, this is kind of a funny memory, is that we kind of had like shifts in our house. So we had a 2-story house, but grandma would sometimes go out the front door. So while all of the bedrooms were upstairs, I decided like, hey, I should probably sleep on the couch. So I slept on the couch to make sure that she would not come.
Doesn't make a break for it.
Yeah, or I'd be able to intercept if she did.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know why that's a favorite memory, but I think it was just, again, just showed like the strength of a family and care. And then I think the best memory I have, like that I love most, is so my great grandma went to Gentog. My grandma and my grandpa went to Gentog, who were my mom's parents. And then all 3 of my nephews have also gone. And currently my youngest one he's going to get ready to graduate because he will be going to kindergarten next year. So, you know, we've seen 3 generations go through Gentog, and seeing them during the evolution of the business has also just been amazing. And then I think my favorite memory is always to see a child, like, you know, a toddler, right? So I'm a mom with young kids, and I sometimes take for granted, right, like their energy, right? I'm exhausted. I'm like, could you just be, you know, like, can you just be, you know, mama needs a nap, right? Can you slow down, or can you just, you know, sometimes I get just so busy with life, but every time I walk into Gentog, you know, the seniors just, they have the time for it, right? And they embrace that energy, that hecticness that sometimes I've taken for granted with my kids. And I know as they get older, right, it's gonna calm down, or they're not gonna always want my attention. But just the patience and the tenderness that the seniors have, and just, you know, both the kids and the seniors, their eyes lights like, oh, somebody, you know, like, this is the only thing happening in the world, and seeing that magic is just, I mean, yeah, I am always in awe of what my mom has built every time I go to visit back home, and to see it. And you see those little magic moments every day, all the time, when we're there. So
that's so cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm curious about Gentog.
Okay. Yeah.
What is it?
So it's an intergenerational daycare. So a lot of us, you know, I think things have shifted. So before, I know you had mentioned that your mom's like a senior facility. Yeah. So sometimes maybe a lot of, like, I feel like more generations are having their parents live with them, right? So like the in-law suite, or the little casitas in the back of the house. So this is really for kind of the generation that has their parents at home, but they still have to work, right? They maybe still have kids. They maybe, you know, they're maybe not able to be a full-time caregiver. Right. So it is like, think of it as like a regular daycare. So they're open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So if you are responsible for either your child, so they have child daycare, so 6 weeks to pre-K, and then they have the senior side, and they do specifically deal with usually seniors with dementia. That is my mom's specialty. Yep. So again, sometimes people aren't ready to fully place their loved ones in full-time care. Yep. And so this allows for you to continue with your life, but also something that's not talked about is, and I think for moms and for those taking care of their parents, is caregiver respite, right? A release and time for the caregiver to recover. And nobody really talks about caregiver burnout, because people think like, oh, well, you're a mom, like you knew what you signed up for, right? You're a caregiver. You knew it was going to be taking care of your parents. It doesn't mean that you don't need a break. And so sometimes she has clients that are there Monday through Friday. Other times, like, you can do a drop-in. So you can come in for 4 hours and say, I just need to go run errands, go to the doctor's appointment. And so it just allows a place for caregivers to take some time for themselves. They also offer like caregiver classes. So they do those for free for the community, right? Like, for a lot of us, when we take in our parents, it's a new dynamic. It's now we have another, you know, adult that is trying to merge their lifestyle into ours. How do you handle that? How do I still go to work but still show up and be present? How do we maybe handle the dynamic of our parents or a loved one not remembering things? And that can be very frustrating, right? It can be tough when we know and hold on to a version of our loved one with dementia, and we just want them to remember us. We want them to know our name, but that can sometimes be harder for the person with dementia, because now they're getting more confused and they're sensing our frustration. So they kind of provide tools to help you navigate that. Like, what kind of activities can you do to help create positive memories? How can you still go on and, do your life, but incorporate your loved ones? And they show like how to do intergenerational activities with your kids.
Wow.
So it's turned into what used to just be a daycare into that. And, but that's what it was for, is that she wanted it to be a safe space for people to drop their parents off, their loved ones, and know that they're taken care of by a team that truly loves and cares. But the intergenerational side is really what makes it unique, right? There's so much for little kids to learn from seniors, and seniors to learn from toddlers and babies. And so that's always amazing to see. And they just have added like a music therapy. So she has a full-time music director, and they've shown there's a lot of science around the impact of music and helping kind of pull out memories. Sometimes people with dementia will not remember, maybe events, but they'll hear the music and they'll sing it. They'll sing the whole song from memory, and it's like that's amazing to see. So she has a full-time person that does that, and that's something that they're really expanding out on this year.
That is so cool.
That's magical. Is that just a local thing, or is it expanding nationwide?
So it is local right now. She did have 2 locations in Oregon, but it's hard to kind of replicate, which she's not, in every other state. They have, I think they're looking at finding ways to put their curriculum and concept into other facilities, maybe not necessarily as a franchise of Gentog, but here's how you implement. Here's ways to do programs, because not everybody will have the capacity to have a full-time daycare, but, like working with homeschool, I don't know what the word, yes. So inviting them into maybe a senior facility for a day to have those intergenerational activities, working with high schools to have high school kids, especially like band, choir, come in and to integrate more. And so that's kind of the framework that she's building right now, is how to get their curriculum, and so they create care plans for every single senior. It's not just like, oh, you come to the daycare and that's, and they do the same activity. So every senior has a specific like dietary, a specific care plan for them. They do movement. And that's actually the first class I ever taught, was a senior chair dance class. So we were, like punching and, doing stuff. And that was kind of what started my love for fitness. And built my first 10-year career in the training industry. But that's, I think, what her next goal is. And then I think she's thinking, so my brother and I have both, now we help out in the business. So again, when we were young and didn't quite understand the concept, we were just like, no, like we're good. We're going to go do our own things. Right. So he is the marketing and curriculum director. And then I handle all of their social media on LinkedIn and building their brand awareness and just making it more visible. So I say it's a family affair now.
It is. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the fitness end of things. So like, tell us about how you've integrated fitness and wellness into career, especially now. Like,
Right.
So it's funny because everybody who knew me in high school knew that I was not a distance runner. So like coaches that know me, they were like, you used to like fake an injury. And I remember when I was on the cross country team, which is a 5K, so 3.1 miles, I remember faking passing out into a bush because I was a sprinter. So I was like used to like 100 meter, 200, like 400 meters was like the farthest I ever ran. And I just thought, you know, it was the time of the cardio era, right? So I was like, oh, well, you know, if I run more, I'm going to be the aesthetic that I want. I was like, girl, you are not a distance runner. So yeah, I took off too fast and I was like, oh, 100 meters, I'm done. Where can I exit this? And I committed into a thorn bush, right? And they were like, Ebony, no running. So it's very funny that I went into fitness, but that I went into endurance running, right? And now I run 25 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles for free. Well, not for free. I pay for it for fun. But like, but yeah, so I had always like been active, but not like at the peak of any type of thing. I was kind of like a mediocre athlete. I was a cheerleader. I attempted to play basketball. I'm going to say attempted because I was not very good. But it was fun. Great team bonding. I loved my team. Ran track all 4 years. And then one day after I got out of high school, I decided to see if I could run a mile because I had never done it in one go. I went and I ran like 13. I called my parents and I was like,
13 miles?
Yes. I was like, I need a ride. And they were like, well, where are you? And I said, Portland. And they were like, how did you get there? I ran. And they laughed because they were like,
oh my God.
You don't run a mile. Like, what do you mean you just ran to Portland? Because we lived in Beaverton. And so, yeah, my dad came and got me and he was like, really, how did you get here? I was like, my legs, like I ran here. And that kind of started.
Wow.
That. And then the gym was like the cool place to hang out in high school and in college. So my friends and I, like, that's what we did is like, we would go to the gym. We didn't know what we were doing. So, I had met like a trainer, his name was Philip, and he ran a boot camp class. And I just remember thinking like, yes. And I want you to think of early 2000s training style, right? So loud, like Billy Blanks, right? Sean T in your face, right? So that was how I was as a trainer for a very long time.
Wow. Really?
That was, yes. I was a military drill sergeant. My husband came to a class.
Your husband came to a class?
Yeah, he came to a class when we had first got married. He's never been to a class with me of mine ever again. Yeah, he's like, yeah, babe, you know, love you, but your style of training just isn't motivating to me. And it's funny because I had worked with mostly athletes and guys, so football players, and then soccer, military. I was a contract employee for the reserves in Arizona. So like I would just like, you know, to be a 5'5", 22-year-old yelling at, you know, guys twice my age and trying to get them. So that was my style of training. That was how I had trained. It softened. And what's funny is that my clientele was not really like, women did not vibe with me when I was in my 20s. Cause I had that stupid saying like, oh, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Honey, once I had kids, I got humbled real quick that we do not have the same 24 hours. And that it does look very different for a mom. And so having kids really changed my coaching style as well, and being more empathetic and understanding and realizing like how to adjust our training programs to fit our life in the current season that we're at. Because when I was, you know, a pro runner, that's all I did. I worked out 6 hours a day, right? I ran everywhere. And I was also training. Now, you're lucky if I can get 3 to 5 miles in on one day a week, right? Like, so shifting that, but just, but yeah, Wendy, I was a drill sergeant.
Just
there's video. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
It was like encouraging though, right? Like,
encouraging drill sergeant. Yeah.
Okay. So Wendy, I was a cheerleader. So while I was yelling at your face, I was smiling and giving you a high kick, right? So like, I thought it made it better. And then like, you know, when you completed the workout, like I might do a backflip or the splits or like, you know, a little pom. I would bring pom-poms. So I would scream at you, but then I would cheer you on and tell you how amazing you were.
And she is an excellent cheerleader.
I'm just seeing like a combo of cheerleader drill sergeant, and it's not. I can't. Interesting.
It's awesome. That's hilarious.
It's funny. But now we were kind of talking about my Oracle card. So again, the slow down. So my workouts, again, as I have become a mom, have also changed. So while I still run, and I was chasing titles and podiums after I had my kids, thinking that I still wanted that, and it burnt me out. Like it was exhausting. I realized how important sleep was on my performance, and like it wasn't happening. And so now I embrace things like hot yoga, like walking, right? Just I allow a slower workout, and it's just better for my nervous system.
Right.
Better mentally clearing. But it's been interesting to see my evolution from weightlifting, you know, hard cardio, HIIT classes, CrossFit, all of that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I still run one like ultra marathon a year. It's my birthday run. I run my year in miles every year, and I've done it since I was 25.
Really?
Yes. So we're going on 10 years. So I'll be 35 this year. So I've enlisted my friend, but that's the one ultra. Yes.
Oh God.
You want to join me? Wendy, you can come fly out to Boise. You can join the party.
I'd have to run 52. That's not happening.
No, you just run hers.
Yeah.
You're just celebrating her.
I don't think 30 something is going to happen either. No, I'm not. I was the kid in gym class with the pain in her side because I ran like 5 steps. This is not me.
That was me too. That was me in high school. That's why my coach, I ran into a high school basketball coach and he laughed. He's like, there is no way you're a runner now. He's like, I remember like in basketball, you would curse me for making you guys run like the sprint. And I was like,
oh, the sprints.
The lines or suicide drills. And he's like, it's just cracked me up to see like that's what you've had success in, because because I had this ow, you know.
Right. I was that kid.
I can't run, you know, I think I'm dying, you know, I can't breathe. Yeah. And now that's like my escape.
Okay, what I love is the day that you were like, I'm just going to run a mile, and you ran 13.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it amazing how when you just let yourself go, what conspires? 13 miles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So crazy to this day.
So, as you can tell, Ebony brings the special Ebony energy to all that she does.
And, she does.
And then as a VA assistant, or you call yourself something more than that. What do you do?
Sorry.
So I own a virtual assistant agency, but I say like we do virtual assistant, social media, and business strategy.
Strategy. That's the one.
Help scale your business to your next 6 figures is always what is kind of our slogan. And what we help usually coaches, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and those with personal brands build and do.
That's so fun. And she has helped me with a couple small strategy sessions, and it's always a plethora of knowledge and plans, and it totally is worth every cent.
I just put that together, Steph.
She's amazing. What? That she's that Ebony?
You had told me, no. Steph, you told me a couple things like, Ebony and I worked on, and I did not put 2 and 2 together, but I'm like, holy shit, that's brilliant. Sorry. Yep. Sorry.
No. We're not afraid of words.
We curse and praise Jesus over here, girl. Go ahead.
I just didn't want to slip, because that now Steph has to either edit it out
I just have to flag it
explicit.
It's all good.
Sorry. No, but I know of your work, Ebony, through Steph, and dang. Okay. That's
dang, girl.
Dang.
That's what she has to say. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, you definitely help a lot of businesses. And what would you like people to know about? Like, is there something you want people to really know about you and the things you do and how?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I don't know if can I give like a piece of advice that I wish somebody had told me?
Absolutely. Yes. That sounds even better.
So I think in this year, like I said, for people of momentum, is know that you are on the right path for you. Sometimes, I compared my journey to so many others, and I thought that I was failing, that I was wrong, that maybe I needed to switch my positioning or switch what I was doing when my heart was guiding what I needed to do. But also, if you have a calling on your heart, if there's something that you've been thinking about for years, that is God, the universe, letting you know that you need to live it out. And I will tell you right now, even when it looks impossible, it will happen. What's meant for you will always come to you. And we need more people who are listening to their hearts now more than ever to put their light out into the world. And we all have stories to share. And I want to say the last thing is that your story will be somebody's breakthrough. And so we need to hear your voices. That purpose, that mission that's on your heart, the world needs it. And we need it right now more than ever. And if I can, that's what I want to end on, is that we all have a purpose. We all have a divine purpose in this lifetime. And that if it's calling on your heart, this is the year that we need you more than ever to show up and to show your light, to help somebody else come out on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you've been sharing a lot of stories, and I know they've been helping people. So yeah, I appreciate you for that. And you also, just because I can't just let you end on that, even though it was brilliant. You also randomly throw dance parties.
Yes.
And I hear they're fantastic.
Are we talking about virtual dance parties or like virtual, my in-person?
But you can tell us about all your dance parties. Your virtual dance parties, I hear, are fantastic. And every single time you've hosted one, I've been hosting something like an hour before or an hour after. And I'm like,
or they're intersecting. So I feel like you and I need to coordinate calendars before
because clearly our brains are like, we need to do something today. And
well, and so that's what happened last time on Valentine's Day. I was like, no, I was like, we're hosting at the same time, so we for sure need it. So I do host virtual dance parties. So we have every month is a different theme. So like this month was Valentine's Day, so it was all women, like self-love, super hyper independence, music, and then the one before that was Heal the World theme. So that was just music. Some of us cried on it, right? It was just a time, 45 minutes.
She literally did that one the same day that we did the healing light.
Lean into the light.
Yeah.
Well, because we are
we're all on the same vibe. It's so cool.
Okay, right? And like I said, we know what we're kind of wanting to do. And we both just had it like this. I was like, okay, this is the date. This is the time. It was so last minute for me. I think I announced it like 2 days before. Because I was just like, I feel like this needs to happen. But I do also host, I do teach in my free time, adult heals classes. So, adding a little va-va-voom to the life. It is usually for abuse survivors or assault survivors. So it is to help them really gain their power back and get, refamiliar with something that was taken away from them. So usually it's an invite only because I want to remain always a safe container. Right. But every once in a while, I open it up for like couples and, mom's night out. I call it the Bad Moms Club because, we get a little naughty. But it's always fun just to be moms and, we can still be sexy, fun, and a great mom, a great business owner. Doesn't take that away from us. Those things can, I believe, coexist. So, I do those pop-ups all over the country in my free time or like if I'm visiting somewhere. So, that's
so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like where can we find out more about you? All the things.
So my social media, because I have way too many websites for everything. So I would say Facebook and Instagram are the best places to find me. Am I supposed to drop my tag? I don't know.
You can go for it. I'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it. Yeah, we'll put it in my listing. I sound like a real estate agent. Oh my gosh.
In her listing, she'll find.
in my resume, you'll see at the bottom of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're a realtor also with everything else.
Okay, you're gonna laugh. Stop it. So I told my husband, I was like, after I scale the agency, I'm not sure what's next. I think I'm gonna get into commercial real estate. I kid you not.
I knew it.
Just said that. And he was like, can we stick with this for like another year or two before you decide to take on a new venture? So that's funny.
That is so funny. Huh. We're on a plane. All right. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you so much, Ebony.
Yeah. Thank you. It was an honor for having me. And your podcast is exactly what it is. My soul is smiling, my heart's smiling afterwards. So thanks for filling my cup this week. So for sure the highlight of the week. And thank you both for your time and being so generous with just the conversation. I loved it.
Glorious. And if you love this conversation, remember to like, subscribe, hit all the buttons and the bells because it really does help us out and our channel.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.